What's up, y'all? It's a dance party. What up, Karmic Okran? So we got some good music today, and this person is not gonna make any copyright claims against my videos either, like they usually do. This is my dude Francis. So we'll listen to music for a second. See who gets on here. What up, Gary? Look at the stupid shit I'm wearing today. I'm retarded, huh? You like these things? Wait a second here before we chitty chat. Get a little music out the way. So Gary, you know who this is, the musically, right? What about Aldrin? John, yeah, he's funny. Probably not, but we'll see. It's okay, you know who this is? Now, you making your coffee? You know what, John? I just made some coffee too, man. Turn this music down in a second. We'll chat for a second about ice, the importance and the weirdness and the strangeness of what ice is. Uh-oh, we listen to Coconuts real quick. We'll get one more song before we get into this. And y'all might see him on here later. You might be able to talk to this gentleman. Little improvised dance party. State of readiness. You know who this is? I'll tell you who this is. Y'all could maybe talk to him later. He might be on. Y'all talked to him yesterday. He didn't know this was him though. Gary knows who this is. What's his name, Gary? He changed it. He changed it on everybody. Yes, it is Francis Luminous. But he don't go by Francis too often. Yeah, this is Francis. He's extremely talented. Anyway, so yeah, Francis, man, yeah. So you look, Kaya Luminous. Yeah. Yeah, you could get on Spotify. I mean, I'm on. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Hold on 1 second, guys. Yeah, I'm on SoundCloud right now. I mean, you can find your stuff on SoundCloud, but Spotify for sure. My playlist, man. Weren't you on the show the other day? I dropped like everything. I said, you all gotta write this down. I ain't gonna do it again. Go watch my other shows. See, this would be the little, what do they call it? The little hidden Easter eggs. Man, I was in the middle of one of my shows. I dropped like 30 or 40. I dropped my whole entire list, the whole thing. I said I ain't gonna do it again. You gotta dig for it, homie. Yeah, we'll get on with this in a second about the ice and everything, because I think it's obviously very connected to everything else I do these videos on. A lot to do with the moon and stuff. Give me 1 second, y'all. There we go. Let me see what I got here. Oh shit, he even changed his name on here too. No, for real? Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, what are we gonna do here? There you go. It's Jeremiah. Let's see what he did. We got one more song before I do this. He just made this.
Oh, I can see the horizon. It looks like rain on its way. 'Cause I've been so dry like a desert. I need your wind on my face. Pour it down. If heaven's at my door, I cannot deny it. Rumbling the floor, I'll drown. Drinking from your cup. Hands are lifted up. Hands are lifted. Whoa. Whoa. Now I'm going. Whoa. Like a flash of lightning. Like a hurricane. Whoa. Now I'm going. Like a flash of lightning. Like a hurricane. Like pouring rain. Whoa. Now I'm falling into the moment. I'm falling with you. side. Hey, 'cause I'm on my knees in the firelight. I'm begging, please. I'm begging, please. Pour it down. If heaven's at my door, I cannot deny it. Rumbling the floor, I'll drown. Drinking from your cup. Hands are lifted up. Hands are lifted. Whoa. Now I'm going like a flash of lightning. Whoa. Now I'm going like a flash of lightning. Like a hurricane. Whoa, now I'm going like a flash of lightning, like a hurricane, like pouring rain. Whoa, now I'm falling into the moment. I'm falling with you. Whoa, now I'm going like a flash of lightning, like a hurricane, like pouring rain. Whoa, now I'm falling into the moment. I'm falling with you. I'm falling with you, baby.
That shit is good, huh? That shit is brilliant, huh? What is the artist? The artist? Formerly known as Francis Luminous, now by Jeremiah Kin. Significance of elephants? Man, elephants are knowledge, man. Elephants are the elephants are hear, see, memory. Memory is basically what an elephant is. It's the storehouse of all things. Think of gray matter, and think of the animals that are giant. A rhino, an elephant. Yeah. Biggest, strongest animals out there. Huge, and they're all gray, thick skin. They remember everything. Yeah, elephants. Yeah, his voice is pretty magical. Yeah. Steven, I don't know. I don't know anything. Man, iron ain't the problem if it's organic, my friend. Remember this. Everything that I say, you always have to divide it up to is it a living or dead situation? Get your iron from the places that it grows in plants. If a plant has iron in it, well, there you go. Yeah. Anna K. Hey, good to see you. Yeah. I mean, look at him. You know, I've touched on this for many different animals, and the last show I did, talking about, basically, you're talking about animals that consume grass that has no fat in it. You're talking about water, sunshine, and that's what they're eating. Yet somehow they produce fat, bones. It's crazy. How can you go out to bars alone and not feel like a weird loner, dude? You always gonna have that problem, man. You just build the confidence into yourself, you know. Be yourself, you know. Yeah, gray whales too there, Gary. Oh, Reza, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Ha ha ha. Phoenix. Alright, John Short. Talk to you soon, dude, unless you're already off here. But yeah, I'll catch you on that. Get your email back. Ever smoked wormwood? Nah, dude. I never smoked it. I mean, you know, all things have a capacity to attempt it, but I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I guess it probably, if someone had lung problems, you could probably fix something in someone's lungs with it, but I wouldn't do it to try to get high or nothing. That'd be... Yeah. Okay, well, there's a few people in here, so I'll just go on my little chitty chat that I was going to talk about. I only got a little bit, yo. He did. He got some. Okay, well, let me know about that, man. Razan, let me know about that. Because I'm always interested in the effects of, everybody's like, don't smoke that, or don't take that substance that way. And there's a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about. There's a lot of misinformation about alchemy of certain herbs. Some are fat soluble, some are water soluble, some only like alcohol, some can't be smoked. And then you find that other people, they don't have those problems with it. That somehow the extraction method is, it could be just about anything. So I'm interested. That's cool. Let me know. I mean, and you're obviously getting something out of it differently through all of the methods. Ben Hayes. No, man, I don't. I don't suggest that to anybody. As far as anything that man has put their hands on, I don't want to play with. No. I'll interact with nature, because nature didn't fuck up. Man can fuck up. Yeah, man can also alchemize and make something precise. This is for certain. In the sense of taking the essence of something, which is what happens with herbs when you mix them with alcohol and you pull the essence and the spirit out of it. But in the terms of what LSD is, you start to get into a lot of confusing, man doing this and flipping it this way and adjusting this, and yeah, I mean, you get into the roots of that, like LSA and other things. Yeah, there's a better way to go about it. I mean, you get into like morning glory seeds and things like that. I mean, that nature already provided the answers. But nah, not me, man. Yeah, mugwort is cool to smoke. It's very good. But yeah, I mean, obviously, anything you can think of, I've probably done. And that's got me to the point of knowing exactly what not to do, which is anything unnatural, really. Let me go through these questions real quick, and then I'll get back to and hey, just to let you know, someone's gonna be coming over soon, so when they do, I gotta dip. So, have I ever done any shrooms? Of course. Just if you can think of a name of something, I've probably done it. Put it that way. I in the past, whatever years, I've had enough years on this planet, but not recently. Yeah. I'm not wet behind the ears. Heroic doses of a few things. I think I've done enough Salvia Divornium that I was a kind of a traveling guide for people. So I know Salvia pretty well. I know her. But I've never done any heroic doses like McKenna style. No. You bet I never. Maybe. Yeah, wormwood is good stuff. Wormwood is great stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of great plant life in the Bible. Voldy buddies, just assume the answer is the answer is yes, whatever it might be. Just assume that. Start there. Voldy buddy, speaking of salvia, you need to watch internet comment etiquette. What does that mean? The shamans were the original pharma. Yeah, the pharma. And then they got really rearranged. Yeah, I guess I didn't read into your joke, Voldy. I didn't get what you meant there. So let me get on with this little thing about this giant idea about. Yeah, see, people got to wait 20 minutes into the show to get to what I was going to talk about originally, which was ice. And I'm not going to make all of the connections back to the moon and everything, because anybody that is at least faintly familiar with my work should already know of the major connections between cows and moons and Isis and all of these things. But I'll get into it a little bit. But here's the idea, is that ice, just as fire, is not a natural substance. Now, let me finish. Of course, we can go places that there are ice on the planet. We'll find ice. But if we live in the tropics, no one is no one knows of ice. You can't just make ice. There's no natural way. There's no natural magical let me reframe that. Don't say magical. There's no natural way to produce ice. It can't be done without the use of technology. Getting into the technology things. We can produce fire from what's around us. Before, I've made this very clear that there is one element divided into 3 stages. The element is the earth, and then we get into the 3, earth and then water and then air. There's the densities. We're getting the densities. Fire is not an element, and ice is a very confusing one because it's obviously part of what water is. But we're only finding it in certain locations. We can produce fire out of natural means. To produce ice, you have to make technology to extract something, and it has to be done in an enclosed area. Isn't that interesting? If you leave like fire, you can leave out in the open and it continues to reproduce itself. You can make fire and throw a log on there and it's working with the elements. If you throw ice into a warm climate, it melts. It's an unnatural thing. And so this is where, and I guess I'll just dip into it, this is where you're getting all of the artificial binary systems that I talk about when I speak on the moon and what the moon is. The moon is connected to Isis. The word is ice. It's icy. It's cold. The moon is actually akin to what an air conditioner is. It's extracting heat, extracting energy out of a system. It's what a refrigerator or a freezer does. It doesn't cool the food. It removes the heat from inside of the box. So it's actually the heat's going somewhere else outside of the box. It's an enclosed system where a fire is part of the system, even though it's not an element. So we have all of the elements that can help make and produce fire, but what ice is so connected to Isis, the money, the moon, because the Isis is ISIS, which is what is a snake curled around a pole, which is the dollar sign, which is everything to do with the cow, the moon, the moo, the months, all of this. I've done this thing so many times to show you. And so if you're not getting it yet, there's a huge tie between ice, what is considered money, the cow, and removing energy, artificiality, and surrogate mothers. I've talked about it as surrogate mother. The mother is the same thing. The mother is the earth. The surrogate mother is the moon. If you have an injury, you should never use ice on it. You know how it should have been taken care of is with certain herbs. There are cooling herbs, but herbs that don't make ice. Ice is it's just the same way you would never put fire on a wound and you would never put ice on a wound. You kind of deviate off of what, if you have a swollen, warm injury, you want to cool it down. But ice is not a natural way to do it, and it's too much. Like if somebody walked in the house after being out in the cold, you don't throw them in the fire, you warm them up. So there's a connection to the artificiality and the surrogate nature of what ice is, and every principle and idea that goes into that language and that word. It's a restrictive energy. It's pulling away from heat and pulling away from life. So that's about what I wanted to get out of here. And so I'll see what you all chatting about over here. Ozzy reviews, yes. Oh, Electric Tile, you got me doing a card reading. Yeah, I'll do that, for sure. Yeah, the moon is a succubus, Ben Hayes is absolutely correct. Yeah, Anna K, that's cool. I'm glad you've gotten to fasting. It is. And in fact, you get to a point where you flip it through the mirror, and you get onto the other side, and you be a provider, and you become the beacon of energy. You become the sun. That's the idea of becoming the whole system. Your system runs on itself. The surrogate mother is the moon. This is correct, Voldy. I mean, at least my theory, and as far as I can go, I've explained that for about a year now. I've done again, 500 and 650 videos, and about half of them have been directly correlated to the succubusing surrogate mother nature of what the moon is. So, yeah. Eucalyptus is a great one. Exactly, resonance creative. Eucalyptus, that's a great one to heal, to cool things down. What's up with the so-called myth of seeing Eve in the reflection of the water of the moon? I don't know anything about that. I've never heard that before. But what you get there is the word Eve comes from the word, what's connected to the word evening. And obviously everything about the water and the connection to the reflection or the mirrored surface. Oh, there we are. All right, cool. Well, guess we lost some people, but let me, where was I here? You guys missed a lot, but I was kind of going on the Eve thing. I'll extend that further another time, but I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I'm not against ice in like a nice cold drink or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just it's a strange predicament. It's a strange thing that we've come to relying on ice, and it goes into this book. It's called I think it's called Getting Out of the Ice Age, and it's all about it's about sports medicine, and this guy writes this really great book, basically saying that every piece of information you've ever got about how ice is good for injuries is absolutely false, and that there are no good studies on it. In fact, all the studies done on ice prove that ice is not good for healing. And he goes and he proves how it doesn't. And in fact, my dude Kelly Starrett, who writes the book Supple Leopard, who is an amazing physical therapist, says don't use ice. Ice should be used so infrequently. So, you know, when we get into like, hey, if it's not good for the body, it's not good. There's something that's going on there. You know, obviously, as I explain these things from a physical, mental, spiritual standpoint of what ice is, and as you know, what it means, what it is as a technology. So where are we at here? The moon pulls electrical energy as an electrical load. Well, electric towel, man. Again, I go back to this. If we just knock the moon out the sky, you got rid of it? No, the Earth does. I did a video on this a while ago. There's only two poles in an electrical system. There's the hot wire and the ground. There's the sun and the Earth. The moon is irrelevant to an electrical system. It is absolutely not needed. The ground, all you need is a ground and then a spark. The spark is the sun, and I'll just be redundant, and the Earth is the mother ground. The moon does nothing except for maybe, if there is a good thing for the moon, then it's some sort of capacitor, regulator, or something, but it more so looks like it's an extracting unit or agent that is an artificial succubus. You know, could there be a good reason for a succubus? Yes, I'll go farther into this. Yeah, you know, if you got dirty blood and you put a leech on your skin, that's a good idea. That's a real good idea. So maybe the planet needs the moon, you know. But at the same time, it's for what it's doing. For, you know, I just give it like that's what I see and that's what it's doing. The moon is like a refrigerator or the... No, not even like the light. The moon is like the refrigerator itself. The moon is like the freezer. The moon is the freezer. The moon is the freezer. See that? It's sucking all the energy out. Yeah, yeah, Riza. Urine is the best thing for... She is down bathing with animals. Exactly. Because, why is that? Because Eve is the darkness. That's why she's black. This is why no one is to trust the woman. She's the dark occultist. The woman is the dark occultist. The woman is the black earth, the black mother, the soil. She is matter. She is material. Adam, which is the atom. I'm going to explain this to you. Adam is the atom. ATM. ADAM is ATOM. It's the same theory. It's the higher consciousness of what Jesus is. Jesus and Adam are the connection is its imagination. And for an atom to take form and place, it has to interact with a physical matrix, which is Eve. Eve is down here as the earth. Eve is that. It's the correlation to the other stories is sun and light and dark. But then someone said sun and moon. No. It's not sun and moon, because the moon has its own light to it. See, then that goes into the next level of the confusion, which is the higher light and the lesser light, which gets into people confusing who the moon was, what the moon represents, what the earth is, who Eve is. So when we break that down the correct way, what we see is the sun connection to the Jesus, connection to the mountaintop. So that's consciousness. That's thoughts. And those thoughts came down and played with the daughters of men. We say the daughters of men, the daughters of density. God and gods are thought forms and consciousness. And whenever it intermingles with physical reality, we create this matrix, which the moon never was in, and I think it was added later. Lion strong, yeah. Nature boy will do that. Yeah, and Grim Nasty let you know too. That's two excellent people to pay attention to. Haha, yeah. Tam, now the scent of those fish. But how was it put there? Oh man. So you know what? There are even some questions beyond my capacity to answer at this particular time, because I've never done. You know, I've said this before. People have asked me. I can't answer that other than saying it seems to me a few things. There's a seems to me here, because I haven't went and researched it. I haven't got out of body, and I haven't asked those questions. But I've done enough work on it. I say go into my earlier works, like, well, when I say earlier, go like 3 weeks ago. I did a whole series on the Vikings, the Viking and the cow, the Viking and the moon. And I go into a theory after that about the moon matrix being a diamond and the sun being a crystal. In fact, oh, here we go. I just grabbed it. Boom. Look at that. Right on time. Look at that. Look at that. I just pulled my dream out last night. I was looking at the moon, and it turned into a hexagram. It turned into a hexagram. And I was sitting there staring at the moon and the sun with somebody. And I was like, hey, did you see that? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, let me get my phone out to take a picture. And I went to take my phone out to take a picture, and it disappeared. The moon was in the sky as a hexagram. Wow, there it is. Well, as an octagon, actually. Well, not an octagon. Six-sided. Not a star, but a six-sided, like, wow. That's crazy. Well, okay, so I was just dipping into my dream there for a second. But my theory is, how did it get there? I think we're dealing with densities of air, and not air. I think we're dealing with different densities of what you'd call that realm. You know, there's different densities of water. There's different densities of solids. There's different densities of everything. And to put something up there electromagnetically, you know, it's easy to levitate things. You can watch things on the internet now that usually they use ice to levitate things. You get on top of a mountain. What happens on top of a mountain? It gets cold up there, doesn't it? So way up there, it's really cold. It's really cold. So to levitate something up there might be an easy thing. So if you look at the moon as a diamond and the sun as a crystal, a quartz crystal, you might start to understand what I at least believe and what it seems to be. So I think they just parked it there. And whoever they are, like high level magicians from back in the past, that instead of using what is, and go into my work because I really get into this in a couple of my videos. It's the 5-part series that I say I'm Tron, and then I go from there. Look at that series, and all of these will be answered. What up, Reza? What up, love? That's that. You got darker as you were fed. That's excellent. You get that melon. Yeah, you eating melanin-rich food, you definitely get darker. Let me hold on 1 second, guys. Put some more music on that won't get. Put some more music on that won't get pulled off the thing. No, nobody will be able to make a copyright claim against this. Electric towel. Let me go ahead and let me address that real quick one more time. 1,000 times over, I'll address this. It's you're still looking in duality. You're still looking in polar forces. They're not the opposite. How are they the opposite? They're not opposed to each other. In what way? If you live on a spinning ball, you have 2 poles. If you live on a flat Earth, you have 1 pole. It's called the North Pole. If you live in a body, you have 1 pole. It's called your spine. It's a single pole system. That's all. If you live in duality of the mind, you think there are 2 things. You think there are opposing forces. How can the sun be opposing the moon? The sun doesn't light up the moon. The moon is of its own lighting system. That's why you can see them both in the sky at the same time. So, I don't in no way to me does the moon need to exist. I mean that's to me that's a very that's a NASA theory. That's a theory that you're saying you're coming from here and you accept the Earth and all its idiocy that's going on and saying, well, the moon should be there. There's high technology from a long time ago, and I think the moon obviously is not the opposite of the sun, and the sun doesn't rely on the moon. Try this on for on your little hat. Does the sun rely on the moon? Fuck no. The sun causes everything to exist. The sun brings the light. The sun lets things grow. That's all there is. Then the moon is extracting. Do I think what was an oxygen thing? Anna K. Hay. Electric Tall, if one accepts flat Earth, one will see mostly ice. No, not true. That's still outside of where people should be living. People shouldn't be going to where it's icy. That makes no sense. We should all be living at the equator. We should be living in and around there. The point of people becoming non-melanated and the point of people becoming diseased is getting out of the sun and going to places that are too cold for them. Despite the fact that, yeah, it's mostly going to be ice. Yeah, but how far have you gone? Are you sure there's not a bigger sun that's going around that? I mean, we're looking at this. You're looking at it locally, and it's not. I'm accepting flat Earth, right? But it's hot as shit where I am. Everything is warm where I am. I'm beaming high levels of energy and sun. I don't see the snow. It ain't part of my life. You could tell people that have never been to the snow, and you can tell them about snow and ice exists. That's not part of their reality. That's not part of the flat Earth. It's flat Earth because of you looked at a map. How many times have you been to Antarctica? You know what I mean? Not to say that it's not icy out there, because it obviously is, but and Electric Towel, again. The moon is not the regulator of female energy. The Earth is. I mean, again and again. It's just These are the kind of fallacies that need to be removed. I don't care how far it goes. I've dealt with plenty of things where people are not understanding. The moon is a regulator of female energy when the female ingests iron and salts and shit they shouldn't be consuming. There's plenty of, you could check it out. There'll be women that'll come on here, they'll tell you, I talked about this about a year ago. They stopped consuming salts and heavy metals, their period went down to a day. They didn't have the mental incongruencies. They didn't have the mental problems. They didn't have the physical, spiritual problems. The collecting situation of the moon isn't about feminine energy. Put this in your mind. It's not about feminine energy. It's about inorganics. The moon preys on inorganics and dead things. It works on men too. This is why people go crazy. They go lunar. They become a lunatic because they put iron in their blood, fake iron, and all sorts of salts and all sorts of things that can be magnetically attributed to the death urge of the moon. It has nothing to do with female. We have a sun, a moon sign, and an earth sign. Yeah, but this again, the moon sign is again, you have when you come to this place, you have to throw everything you think you know out in the garbage. You have to empty everything, all of it. It's done. You can ask yourself a simple question when you wake up and you get up in the morning. You look at the sun, and you know that that's giving you life, and your feet on the bare earth. You know what that is. You start there. The idea of astrology even taking on a moon sign, for a lot of people that have done the research, they say the moon didn't exist till some short time ago. But that's all hearsay. It just does seem that it was put there, and people always there's too many. There's when did moon cults come around? Where did the moon cults come from? There's a lot to do there too. That's a real long study. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that the moon is doing something, everybody. I mean, I'm not taking it, like I said earlier. It might be doing something helpful, but from all intents and purposes, from what we can see, if we look at it with clean eyeballs, with a clean consciousness and going, what's going on here? It doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Anna K. Hayes, what do you mean? It was milk, though? Yeah, it's milking people. It's sucking. It's a succubusing. It's kind of like, as I say, the surrogate mother. It wasn't supposed to be used for very long. It wasn't supposed to be used for what it's used for. This is why the moon turned into money. You think an economic system is healthy for anybody on this planet? It's absolutely not. It causes a dominator-submissive complex. It caused patriarchy to happen. It caused men to start dressing as women. And they start putting the wigs on and trying to act like women because they put the moon there. They wanted to take over everything. But the original cow's milk, yeah, Anna K. Go check out my videos I've done on that. I totally get into that. I said in 2016 to start a moon ritual. Yeah, the moon has uses. While it's there, certainly use it. Use it for what you can. It is more likened to a web. Yeah, it's layers of webs. And the webbing of the moon, yeah. Yeah, the moonlight is colder than the moon shade, Gary, which is proof of something. And it seems to me like it's colder in the freezer than it is outside of it. It seems to be pulling energy. It seems to be extracting and pulling energy. And I did a whole thing on Alchemy a long time ago. Yeah, I think oxygen, Anna, might be part of that too. Resonance creative. You take spirulina, there's lots of iron in that, right? I believe so. And for any any of the women that are here that that don't know about my earlier work that I did on the moon, and everybody else that has commented on the video and actually got back to me and shows up time to time, they said their periods go from 5 or 4 days to like 1, and how much better they feel because they stopped using salt and stopped putting heavy metals in their body. Iron is good stuff, obviously, man. All is electric, Tao. Yeah. All is electric that isn't magnetic, huh? Is silver associated with the moon? I don't think so. I don't think it's supposed to be. I'll dig deeper on that for you, Gary, but right off the bat, no. You know, you can think of silver, sulfur, and what silver is. I don't know. There's like a silver bullet, all that stuff. I don't think it has to do with the moon, though, originally. I think maybe it got distorted. A lot of things, a lot of the information we're working with now, even from high-level alchemists, are still using the moon in a distorted alchemy. That's why you can walk with the Most High, but no need to pray. This is correct, Natasha. Praying is praying, you know. Don't pray upon anything. Walk a path, whatever it is, and, you know, it doesn't require prayer. Moonies here say they don't worship the moon, so why does their worship place look like a moon then? Yeah, exactly. They even trick you. They say monotheism. Yeah, that's moon theism. There's not too many sun worshipping cults out there. There are a lot of moon worshipping cults. Oh, Skyhopper, man, so cool to see you, man. Skyhopper, real deal magician. Anybody want to know about magic? This dude is super powerful. Oh, Ben, that's a good question. Yes, I think that's what it is. I've talked about it this way. If you go to a church, you can extract energy from there, but most people just don't know that. It's just like if you go to a bank, you can be depositing something or pulling something out. If you go to a church, if you know what you're doing, I could go to a church as a non-religious person, go sit there and extract. I could extract from the church. They wouldn't even know what was going on. They'd be like, where did all my energy go? What's up, man? Hey, what up, only one for eight? Yeah, you caught me at the end again. I'm about to get out of here in like 5 minutes, man. But the manifesting thing is so in depth, man. I've done so many videos on it. You know, I'll try to give you the quickest overview as I can right here about manifesting. Manifesting is you have to think of it as a portal. You have to think of it as a portal from, say, you know, use a visualization from your pineal gland. Everybody likes that word. I don't, you know, just from your brain, from where you're pushing energy out. Maybe from your heart, maybe from your testicles. It doesn't really matter. You could use all three combined. And you have to look at it as manifestation of using those places as portals of consciousness to be feelers, to be tubes, to go out to the universe to grab what you want. And in that way, you're able to pull things to you like a magnet. That's one way of looking at it. Another way is to just drop seeds. Drop seeds in your consciousness. And once you drop whatever it is, this is what I desire, this is what I want, and you're sure of it, you build up energy in your system. You say, this is what I want, and I will have it. Make yourself a sigil if you want, or just drop that seed in your mind, and you plant it, you say, that will be mine, that is mine, that is who I am, that is what I am, that's what I want, that's what I desire, that's what I have. It goes even, you know, even to this point of saying, it's mine now, and it comes to you, just like a seed. If you put a watermelon seed in the ground, it will eventually become that. You don't second guess it. You just know that it will come to you. That is the most basic way of talking about manifestation. There's a lot more that I go into, how to amplify that, how to rearrange it, how to, you know, like, well, some of the earliest videos I did actually got into what I called like a boomerang effect of consciousness, using different brain waves. But man, this is really like a 2-hour conversation. I might be able to do that tonight, but I'm I'm going out to dinner in a little bit, so. But yeah, man, I don't mean to not be catching your question like that, man. It just, you're asking me a real big question. I want to make sure that I answer it for you completely. Belief versus faith. Faith is all that you need to have, exactly. Belief is, I kind of believe that. Faith is like, nah, it's mine. And faith has nothing to do with religion either. Just having an absolute certainty. Yeah, posing as a load of yeah, the regulator, I'll give you that, electric towel. It's a regulator. But again, we could just explode the thing. Yeah, birth control is a funny one, huh? I'll get into that another time. Old man hates when I don't go to church. Of course, an old man hates that. There's too much control over that, you know? You do what I say. God damn it. God damn it, you do what I tell you to do. It goes like this. This is how it's going to work. The papacy and the patriarchy. Writing on the paper. Yeah. Yeah, Anna, hey, the church is filled with that for sure. Yeah, do I believe in the theory of the Anunnaki? Yeah, to a degree. Yeah. That's a big one to get into. And right on time, as I speak it, the goddess shows up, the elephant goddess. You all, hey, so you all know this is that's the elephant. That is the elephant goddess. There she is, parking her bike. That's Ami right there. So if you want to, as you all like to ask, if you want to help, you know, put any currency into my situation, at the beginning of the video in the description, there's a Venmo account that you could throw. You know, feel free if you want to. And as always, you know, like this shit is always free on my end. And if you can donate and help out, that's totally rad, because that one right there, she's taken care of me for years. She put me through the university, let's put it that way. She enabled me to know all of the crazy shit I know. To put 20,000 hours of study into things that nobody else on this planet knows about. Yeah, man. Hey, only one for I. I'm on here all the time. I'll come back to you tonight for sure. Yeah, I will. And here's a little note too. Don't ever say please to me. Don't ever plea to anyone. Pleading puts yourself in a place of dominioned over and kinged and lorded over. You remove the word please. You say plea. You plea if you're in court. You please as a child. You don't do that. I say that to anybody. Just say thank you. You know what I mean? Give thee onks. Give thee power. Don't take away from your own power. Yeah. Okay. Let me get through these questions here, and I don't know where I'm going for dinner, Voldy. We'll see. You talking like PewDiePie? Who's Poo? I don't even know. PewDiePie? I don't even know who that dude is. What's the current of my sea? Yeah, well, I don't. Well, it's a hi, sister. Yeah. Oh, Natasha said hello.
Hi.
Here, there.
Hello. I'm on live.
That's Ami.
She's silly.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. All right, guys, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'll see y'all soon. And obviously, all my videos got so much gems of information and coolness in there. And if you just think of it this way, if you put a question in your head, you'll probably end up clicking on the right video and the answer will be there. But until then, until next time, do cool things. If you can't do that, do radically awesome things. And if you can't do that, I don't know, at least keep your asshole clean, you know? Peace.